I'm David Scott Smith. I'm the artist responsible for the webcomic Space Base 8 that you can find at spacebase8.com. I want to show you my homemade light table with a rotating drawing surface. Now, I found myself a 2-foot square fluorescent ceiling lighting fixture and built a box around it, hooked it up to a foot switch. So the foot switch turns the light on and off. I put a piece of glass on top of that lighting fixture, built a box around it. Then I took a 2-foot square piece of whiteboard. It's an 1/8 inch thick piece of whiteboard, cut a big hole in it like this, like you can see. And there's little clips at the bottom down here that keep it from falling off. I have a little lip down here also that keeps it from falling off. And then I found a round glass tabletop that is a little bit thicker. This one just happens to be a little bit thicker than an 1/8 inch. And that fits pretty well inside that hole. And now I have a rotating glass drawing surface on top of a glass light board that can be turned on and off with my foot switch. So why in the world would you want a rotating glass drawing surface, Dave? Good question. Let me show you. So say you're wanting to draw or paint and you want to do some intricate, say maybe an ellipse of some sort. The top part is actually easy to do because the way that your wrist pivots or your elbow pivots or even your arm at the shoulder pivots, the top part of an arc is it's just a natural thing because of the pivot. But coming underneath is a little more difficult. Perfect example. I really messed that up. Wouldn't it be nice if when I wanted to draw a circle, I could do the top part, spin it around, and do the bottom part, and do a crummy, really bad circle for you right in front of your eyes? Well, with the rotating drawing surface, it most certainly is a lot easier. And I like to work on a light board when I do my comic, Space Base 8. What I do is I print out a rough that I did in Photoshop. I roughed this out all in Photoshop. I had a template of the borders, and I set everything up, and I type in my my dialogue in the word balloons here and everything. I print that out, and that's my rough. Then onto my final drawing paper, or the paper that's going to be part of my original art, I turn the light on, and I print out the word balloons and the borders on that. So that's nice and printed. It saves me time having to draw that because it's already in the rough. It's already in the computer. I just print that out. Now I put this back on top of here, and I tape all the stuff I tape down. I tape onto this. So I have a piece of tape back there. That's why it's not falling down. Because holding it with your hand when you're trying to, it's just it's a mess. That's why I want the rotating surface, is because I could just hold it with my hand and rotate it. What a drag. I got to tell you, what a drag. So then I can do my tight pencils on top of that, and actually sometimes doing the little details, maybe even with the pencils. I want to get in there and rotate it. Keep my hand out of the pencil. Maybe it's just easier to do certain lines. For example, to do a straight line, straight up and down, it's kind of a drag if you're doing it freehand. But to do it kind of at this angle, see, because I'm pivoting from my elbow, or even from my shoulder, I can do it like this. So if I wanted to do something, say, that's parallel to this border right here, that's a lot easier. That's way easier than trying to go straight up and down if this was taped to a non-moving surface. And eventually, I can come in here and I can ink. This is a Pentel pocket brush. Awesome tool, by the way. Never dries out. Ink is nice and black. And refillable with cartridges, so you don't have to spill ink all over the place. I love this tool. But I digress. And then you can go and you can ink with this. Keep your hand out of the wet ink. Do ellipses and arcs. Do your details. Works really well. my finished artwork ends up looking. I thought maybe you'd like to see something like that. And because I printed the dialogue onto my original art, if someone wanted to buy that, they can actually read it. If there's not just an empty space where the word balloon would be, it's actually on the artwork. It's printed on the artwork, and it's readable as a comic strip, like it's supposed to be. Sure, it's a piece of artwork, but it really ought to have the dialogue on there so you can read it and appreciate it like it's a real comic strip. Well, I hope you found that interesting. My name is David Scott Smith. My webcomic is Spacebase8. You can find it at spacebase8.com. You can email me at spacebase8@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am at Cartoonsmith. And until next time, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.